Yo, what is going on everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we'll be going over how to make a simple shape header that is professional and clean for your guys' YouTube or Twitter. Today we're going to be using the Twitter banner layout, so 3000 by 1000 pixels. As you guys can see here, we're just going to go with 300 resolution and we're going to create our canvas. I'm hoping this video isn't going to be too crazy long, but we're going to try our best to make this look nice and easy and not be too crazy. Alright, so this is just sort of going to be a tutorial where I just sort of step through as I'm doing it live instead of doing commentary after. So this might be a bit shaky all over the place, but we're going to try our best. Alright, so first things first, we're going to need to grab our logo, and today we're going to be using Saw's logo. We need to give it a white color, and we're just going to not do that. I'm pressing the wrong button. There we go, holding shift, and we're going to get our logo out just like that. Now if you guys want to get Saw's logo as well, you literally just Saw Gaming logo, spelled that wrong, but whatever, same result. Go on to Google, there's heaps of them there. So you bring it into Photoshop, and we're just going to grab the 2D part and we're going to place it somewhere on the left side of the canvas here. Alright, so second thing we're going to do is we're going to pick our colors. This is one of the first things that you guys want to do when you're creating a shape header like this. We're just going to grab the marquee tool in the corner here, and we're just going to bring a box out like this. And then holding Alt Delete, we are going to fill that. And then from there we're going to go Control J on layer number 1 over here. That duplicates our layer. We're just going to drag it down holding shift so that it stays nice and straight, and then we're going to go over here to the thumbnail on layer 1, hold control, and we'll get this little marquee tool logo. Then that will bring up the selection on this box, and then we're going to go down here to our colors again, and we're going to pick a probably a lighter purple like that, and then we're just going to hold Alt Delete again, the color, and I'm going to repeat the process, go Control J here, duplicate the layer, bring it down, and again we're going to pick a sort of an aqua green sort of color, and I'm going to hold Control, a marquee tool, and then Alt Delete, boom. Alright, now that we have our colors, we're going to hold Shift and these layers, select all of them, and just convert that to a smart object and make these a little bit smaller into the corner. Now the reason we have these colors here is because when we're going back through using all our brushes, we can quickly click like this and just pick our colors, so you don't have to be going back through the color wheel the whole time. So just say I'm wanting to create a shape using the brushes, and I go, oh, I've got this color, now I quickly need this one, now I need this one. And if you guys don't know how to do that, when you have your brush tool out and you hold Alt, it brings out the eyedropper tool, which obviously, as you can see here, picks the colors for you. So if you just go to where your colors are, it will instantly pick up the color that we want. Alrighty. Enough babbling, we're going to quickly start on the basic layout of this. So if you hear like rustling, that's just me moving around in my chair. Alrighty guys, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to right click our shapes, and we're going to grab the ellipse tool, and then we're going to hold shift to keep the aspect ratio. And this head is pretty much just going to be using one shape. Just a circle shape, that's all you guys need. It's nothing fancy, no pen tooling or anything like that. We're just going to keep it nice and simple. Alright, so we have our color picked here. Yep, that's the right color. And we're just going to position this so this sits nicely with the logo. Just like that. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to hide that circle that we just made. And we're going to hold control so that we get this selected area. Now if you guys have watched my previous videos, you guys know that when we use our brushes and we have a selected area, our brush will only affect that area. So what we're going to do, just our blue brush, we're just going to go around the right side, just creating like a half circle, like this, sort of like a moon sort of look, just like that. And then we're going to make another layer, and we're going to use a white brush here. And make sure that when you guys are using your brushes, they're all on 0 hardness. And then obviously to change the size of the brush while you're using it, you just hold Alt and diagonally bring it across like that, and that will change the size. So we're just going to go back through the middle section here with a white brush, and then change the blending to overlay, and that'll give us a nice sort of glow coming from this sort of side. Alright, so there's our first shape. Now what we're going to do is we're going to keep this here, we're going to Control J, And we're going to make this one visible again. And then we're going to down the opacity so that when we move it around it isn't too crazy. So now we're going to hold shift and we're just going to move our tool out like that. Just like that. Nice. Alrighty guys, so now what we are going to do is we're going to grab our purple color, just like that. And we're gonna hide this layer again, and then hold control again. And we're gonna repeat the same process, but we're gonna have the purples coming from the other side. Just like that. And just sort of tap around the edges, just lightly. And we're going to yet again repeat the process, creating a new layer down here with this little icon. I'm going to hold Alt on our brush, make it a bit smaller. And then we're going to put that back on an overlay layer. And then we've got these two sort of circles blending in with each other. Alrighty, so now that we have these two colors, we're going to use our green color, and we are yet again going to expand this color right here, and we're going to hold shift, and we're going to bring it out to about this much. Yeah, it looks alright. We're going to hide it yet again, and we're going to make sure that we have our brush out, and we're just going to feather around the edge. Now, as you guys will pretty much start noticing, this will pretty much be what we're doing the entire header, using this same technique of hiding the circle and using the selection area, and then just using brushes and like making parts brighter, making parts darker. This is pretty much the technique that we'll be using throughout the entire header. Alrighty, now I think we've got a little bit too much green, so we might go back to our layer over here. There we go. Alrighty, now we're gonna Control J on the circle again, and the reason I'm keeping these circles is that if I want to go back and do more, we can keep the exact same shape, so we don't have to go back and try and match up our shapes. We can keep the original size of our shape, so just say, oh crap, I want to go back and quickly light this area here, I can just hold control and then go back again and light it. Alright, so we're going to add some more blues now. So using this one, we're going to make that a bit bigger, holding shift always so that it keeps the aspect ratio and size. I'm going to hide that and we will go again. And this time we're going to have it doing an opposite sort of fade. So instead of it fading from the bottom up, we're going to have it fading from the top down. Just like that. And I mean, you can just go like that, keep the same sort of brightness the whole way down, and then make a new layer, add our overlay on the white brush, and then once you've done that, you can just go back down to the blue layer and then just erase it like that, if that's what you guys want to do, but it's up to you guys. But if you're following along the tutorial, just do what I do. And as you guess, we're probably going to do the exact same technique, and this time we're going to add a purple. Don't go there. There we go. I almost forgot what we were doing for a sec. Alright, there we go. And this time that's just gonna go the whole way up. And we're gonna do our white brush again. Just like that in the middle, then overlay. And then just because this is like an outer sort of one, we're gonna have like a really bright sort of bit in the middle there. Put that on overlay again, and then we've got this bright glow sort of look. Quickly, just like that. Perfect. Now if you guys are getting confused when we hold control here and you can't get rid of this selection, make sure that you hold the marquee tool, or just get the marquee tool up here, the rectangular marquee tool, and click anywhere, and it will just get rid of this selection. Alrighty guys, from here, we're going to just add a couple shapes around here. So we're going to go back to, yep, this one. I'm going to duplicate that, make it visible. And just like that, we're going to sort of position it so that it sort of runs off the bottom there. So from the purple, we want it to sort of slope down and around like that. And we're going to hold control again. And we're going to grab our blue. And we're just going to run that one sort of halfway up. And we're going to get nice and bright down the bottom here. And then again with our white, we're going to nice and bright in this section and overlay. Alrighty, looking nice. So now that we have most of our shapes, we're going to be adding our highlights and our like shadow parts, and these is what really makes up the header. So now that we've got most of our like bright shapes and that sort of stuff, what we can do is pull that up. Now this does get very confusing, guys, so if you are organized unlike myself, I would name these layers or like even color them. If you guys don't know how to color stuff, you literally just like go here. So it probably would have been smart for me, so like you just make that blue so that you know what you're working with. That's purple, so violet. Another blue one. I mean, you guys don't have to do this, you can just click through the layers till you find it, but I don't know, maybe you guys find it a little bit easier. Just like that. And then you go, that sort of helps you guys figure out where all your colors are on your layers. Alrighty guys, so now that we've done most of the colors and all that sort of stuff, we're going to quickly add some highlights. So we're going to make a layer above them all, and we're just going to highlights for now. Get a white brush out with 0 hardness as we've had, and chuck it on our overlay, blend mode, and we're just going to do a couple spots just like this, where everything gets a little bit brighter. As you can see, that sort of just makes everything pop a little bit more. And now we're going to add some shadows. Alright, now we're going to, on these ones, we're just going to, okay, so that's for the purple. We're going to duplicate it with Control J. We're going to make it visible, and then we're just going to bring it in a tiny bit so that it's just like a little small ring around there. We're going to hold Control on it, go back up to our shadows, and instead of using a white, we're going to use a black brush. And then we're just going to feather down like this. You don't need to be changing any blend modes, just keep it on normal. And then it creates this like sort of dark, like tubular sort of look, which I think looks really sick. Alright, so we're going to grab this one again, and that's the one for the shadows, and we're going to bring it back in about halfway, and I'm going to hide it again. I'm going to hold Control, and we're going to make a new highlights layer, so maybe just name this one Glow, and we're going to get our white brush, run it up like that, and then put it on overlay. Then we'll go soft light, and run it up like that, and then duplicate that one, and then put this one on overlay, and then just go about halfway, or raise it about halfway like that. Alrighty, nice. So we're going to add some more shadows, so we're just going to, which one is it? There we go, yep, there we go. And we're going to grab that and bring it in just like we do with the other one, except we're going to bring it a little bit further this time. I'm going to hold Control, and yet again we're going to create some more shadows. Now you guys don't have to name your layers. As I said, you can just sort of click through till you find it, but just for the sake of the video we're going to organize our layers because that's what smart people do. Just like that. Make it really dark in the corner here. And then let it run up like that. Nice. Maybe that's a little bit too... Yeah, we're going to bring that one in a little bit actually. Just so it's a sort of fatter tubular sort of look there. Alrighty, and then we're going to go back to our shadow layer, which is this one here. And we're just going to have a really bright glow, hopefully, coming down here. So we're going to grab our blue color and we're going to have it shoot back down past the dark area. And then, as we've done before, with the glow on white, overlay, just like that. Nice. And we're going to add one more shadow, and that's going to be on our green colors. So there is our green circle. Actually, we don't want it there. We're going to bring it back in like that. Control. Make a new layer. Bring it back above them all so that the shadow applies on top of all our brushes. And again, maybe just through the middle like this. Just with a large brush, just like that. Alrighty, nice, nice, nice. Now we don't want too many shadows over this side of the design. We want to keep it quite bright. And where did we put our glow before we did our highlights? Where is it? There we go. So we're going to put our highlights back above everything so it just really makes it pop a little bit more. Now we're going to go back below all of the brushes that we've made. And we're just going to name this one background. And we're just going to grab a large brush, and with each color that we have, that's on the black brush, just sort of do a little dab there, and just with each color where the colors are sitting, we just want to sort of dab the color around there, just like that, and then maybe a little bit of purple, and then we're going to down the opacity to about, I'd say around 10%. So it just gives it that little bit of glow, sort of, doesn't make it as pitch black in the background. Alrighty guys, so now we're going to work on the inner part really quickly. So yep, there's our original circle, the OG. And we're actually going to make that one smaller, just like that, so that it sort of semicircles inwards. We're going to hold Control, hide it, go above all of our layers. And we're going to go a black brush. And just do that. Alrighty, looking nice. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to work on our logo. We're going to Control J that so that we have this is the 2D logo, and then we're going to have this as the 3D logo. Didn't spell logo right, but I know what I'm talking about. So then we're just going to right click on our layer, and then we're going to go 3D extrusion. But we don't want to do that just yet, because how the 3D extrusion works is the position on the canvas is how it will extrude. So we need to put this in the middle of the canvas. So we'll wait for the anchor points to bring it into the middle. There we go. And we're going to 3D extrude it now. And that should make it a really nice straight back extrusion. There you go, perfect. First thing we want to do is make sure that cast shadows is off. And I'd say that we need a little bit more extrusion than that, so we might go, we'll go 300. No, we don't want that, that's a little bit too much. 300, perfection. And then we're just going to right click and render 3D, and we're just going to let that render. Alrighty guys, so the render is finally done. Once it is finished, we're just going to go over here and we're going to rasterize our 3D layer. We're going to quickly make it into a smart object, and we're going to bring it back over to the original position, holding Control and bringing our 2D with us. Alrighty guys, so now that we have our logo where we need it, what we're going to do is create a new layer, and then we're going to hold Alt and clip it on. And we're just going to use the polygon lasso tool up here and our gradient tool, which we've got a black to white color. And we're just going to bring it over like this on an overlay layer. And we're just going to go over the 3D extrusion parts of the polygonal lasso tool and exaggerate the colors that the 3D extrusion made. Alrighty guys, so now that we've finished our color gradient sort of thing, we're just going to turn that down a tiny bit so we can still sort of see the 3D extrusion original, and then we're going to go to our 3D layer and go an inner glow. I'm going to put that on an overlay, and we're going to bring that in the size into about, let's say a 4, and then we're going to up the choke a little bit more so it looks sort of like that. Alright, looking good. Alright, now for the 2D layout, we're just going to add some really simple sort of look to it. Nothing too crazy. We don't want that. Probably just go for like a white to grey sort of look. So we'll just grab a grey and our white. And we'll go just a normal 90 degrees, just like that. And then we'll go to inner shadow, put that on 90-degree angle, about, let's say, 3 to 2 distance, and that creates a nice little top layer there. And then for a final touch, we'll add a satin. Just play around until we sort of get a cool look, some metallic sort of look. Just turn that down a little bit. Should put that on overlay. Alright, so we want that on 54 opacity, 35 distance, and 16 size. Alright, perfect, perfect, perfect. Now what we're going to quickly do is we're going to grab all these, holding shift, selecting them all, putting them in a folder here, and then we're going to go up to our adjustments, photo filter, and we're just going to add a slightly blue photo filter with about 25 density. I'm going to clip that onto our logo, which means it only obviously applies to our logo. Then we'll we're also going to grab our curves and make a slight S shape, just like this. And that's going to make our logo darker and brighter at the same time. Just like that. Very nice. Alrighty, so now what we're going to do is just add some slight adjustments and colors, and then we'll pretty much be done. Alrighty, so we're just going to grab our purples like this, and we're just going to put that on a screen, and we're going to grab our blues. I'm going to just put them here and here, and our greens, put that there, there, purple, just like that, and we're just going to turn on the opacity, so there's some more glows going on. Then we're going to add another layer, put that one on overlay, and grab out our white brush, and just again, just tapping in random places and making other places sort of make it stand out and glow a little bit more, just like this. Ooh, we don't want that, don't want our brush on 100 hardness. Alrighty, looking nice. So we're just going to add some really fine highlight sort of strokes, I would almost say, just sort of like these. So that's our original one. We're going to bring that in so there's a really slight sort of gap here. Yeah, just like a really small sort of gap up there. I'm going to hold control on our big circle, and this is sort of complicated the way that I do it, but it's just sort of how I do it. So what we're going to do is, so we've hold control on our circle like this area is selected, and then with the marquee tool up here, we're going to right click and select inverse. Now this whole area is going to be selected. What we're going to do is we're going to create a new layer, bring that above everything, put that on a, just hold control, hold alt and delete, sorry, and that will fill this entire area. And then put that on a overlay. And now what we're going to do is go back to the circle we just picked, which I will find in a second. There it is. And go back so that it is filling the whole circle, and what we're going to do is go back up to the layer we just made, and then with the marquee tool, we're going to go hold layer via copy, and what that will do is select the wrong layer like a silly head. Oopsie, we'll go back, pick that again, find our layer, is it this one? Yep, and we go layer via copy, and then get rid of that so that it is just our little line that runs down here. And then what we're going to do is grab the erase tool, 0 hardness, and just erase at the top and erase down the bottom, so that there's this nice thin line. Alrighty, looking nice. So from here on, the header is pretty much finished. We just add some slight adjustments that I think will look nice. You guys don't have to add this stuff, but if you do, keep following along. But pretty much this could be the end of the video. This is pretty much the finished one right here. There's not much else I would do here. Add some text maybe and sponsors, but we're just going to add some small highlights, as I said. So this part of the video is going to be a little bit tedious, but it isn't absolutely necessary. So we're going to keep repeating the process that we just did. Fill it white like this, and I'm going to quickly hide that layer. Make sure that is going back there on control, and we're going to layer via copy, get rid of the old one, and there we go. That's our nice little one there. Hold overlay, bring that back above everything so that it actually applies to our brushes. Hide that layer. Nice. And we'll just add one more of those back on our original circle, which is nowhere to be found. There it is. Just shift and bring that back out. Just like that. Repeat the process, select inverse, make a new layer, fill it with Control Alt, then with this again, make sure that you move the circle back to where it was originally, or else you won't grab the right spot. There we go, and then we hold Control back to our original layer, layer via copy, delete the old one, and then we've got our nice little ring, and we can just put that on an overlay. Bring it back above all our brushes so it actually applies, and boom, we can duplicate that again because it's not the brightest. And yeah, that is looking really nice. Now I'd probably just add a slight color adjustment like this. Just add some curves, a small s again. Alrighty, nice. Alright, so for the last step, we're just going to quickly add our name. So, Saw, text is a little bit large. Saw Gaming, there we go. My phone just did a little buzz. And we're going to make sure that is not all caps. We're going to bring that nice and small back down. Just like this. And we make the text white because we cannot see the black. There we go. And voila. There we have it, guys. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I hope this wasn't too long, and I hope you guys did enjoy it. It wasn't crazy too hard for you guys to follow along. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and also leave a comment on what else you guys would like to see, or if you'd like to see more of these shape sort of headers. But anyway, guys, without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, I'm out.